Now let's see how to apply isolation on some equipment or instruments. Let's start with rotating equipment, for example, such as pumps or compressors. Of course, we shall need isolation valves on the pump suction and discharge, and if we are dealing with a higher piping flange rating, then we may need a double block and bleed for this system. As we said, when we want to perform maintenance on equipment, we would need to consider positive isolation in order to separate the isolated equipment from the system totally, and hence we can carry out the maintenance activities safely. So in this case, we have two options. Either we can use a spectacle blind or we can use a removable spool. In general, a removable spool is commonly used when we need to dismantle the equipment or some of its internals. So we would need to avail some space for the crane or the forklift to work safely without clashing with the plant piping. But if the equipment is expected to be maintained in place, then a spectacle blind can be used in this case, where we shall just change the position of the blind from the open position to the closed position. So in case of a pump or a compressor, it mainly depends on their type and if they have large internals that need to be dismantled or not. For example, in case of positive displacement pump types, such as progressive cavity pumps, a removable spool would be better. If we have a centrifugal pump, then a spectacle blind can fit for the job. In general, this depends on the project's philosophy and operational requirements. Now, as pumps have much higher probability to fail and get out of service frequently, we usually add a spare pump. So here we have two pumps. The running pump has its suction and discharge valves open, and the spectacle blind is in open position. For the other pump that is not running, the valves and spectacle blind shall be in closed position. Here we should protect the non-running pump from backflow, as isolation valves still may pass some fluid. That's why a check valve is added on the pump discharge. So when we run one of the pumps while the other is out of service, we are sure that the pump's impeller won't rotate in the opposite direction.